Hi, welcome to Cooking with Nikki. Today I'll be making for you some Powda bun, and this is Belizean style Powda bun, and of course this is my version of it. Um, and I'm sure that it will be delicious because I've made it so many times. Um, I want you all to try it and let me know how it comes out. Pictures will be awesome as well. So I appreciate that very much. I've already pre-measured everything. It's always good to have all your ingredients in hand so you don't forget anything. That's always the best rule to keep so that oh no, I didn't I forgot the baking powder, I forgot the butter or the eggs or whatever it is you're making. Make sure you have everything on hand, and that's the safest way to go. All right, so we'll be needing 4 cups of flour. We also need 3/4 cup of white sugar, half cup of brown sugar, a cup of raisins, 1 stick of butter softened, 1/4 cup of shortening, half teaspoon of allspice, half teaspoon of ginger, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. If you don't have salted butter, I would suggest just adding a little bit of salt, like a 1/8 teaspoon or a couple pinches of salt in there. It will bring out the flavor of it better. You will also need 1 tablespoon of molasses and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. If you don't have the vanilla extract and just the imitation, go for it. That's fine. You could use that. I always say just use what you have in your kitchen. You don't have to go break the bank to make things that you like. Of course, better quality vanilla tastes better in your food. I'm going to start out by adding all the dry ingredients, and make sure your hands are clean because you'll be needing to incorporate this with your hands. All right, so this is 4 cups of flour going in there. And I didn't mention, I always keep a reserve of flour. Right now I have like a half cup of flour set aside just in case the dough becomes too soft. Oh, and coconut milk. It's gonna be in the description anyway. You could use evaporated milk for this if you'd like, but I prefer coconut. I believe that's close to the original flavor of how they used to make it back home in Belize. Next, I'll add the sugar, the white sugar. Then I will add the brown sugar. As I said, we're incorporating all the dry spices first. And then this is the nutmeg, cinnamon, allspice, ground ginger. All right. This is gonna be so good. Let me get a whisk for this. That will make the job a little bit easier. Okay, I have this over here. Actually, I like this whisk. This is the whisk that I use when I'm kneading shortbreads. I start out with this, but you know, the hand is the best tool sometimes. So, and next I'm gonna add the butter. Okay, get out of there, butter. And if you don't have any butter, you could replace this with margarine, or you could just use all shortening. Substitute the shortening for the butter. See? All right, this might get a little bit messy here. I didn't put on an apron, but hey, you're home. You get cleaned up when you're done. All right, so I'm trying to incorporate the butter and the shortening so it breaks up into smaller pieces. As I said, you could do this with your hand. And also, rule of thumb, When you start adding the wet ingredients into this, don't put both hands in there. You always want one hand to be clean so that if you need to grab something else, you have it, right? So after this, we're gonna start putting in the wet ingredients. All right, so we're adding in 2 teaspoons of, oops, that's a little more, but that's okay. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And I like the taste of molasses. I know I added, so I add a tablespoon of this. I think this makes it have a unique flavor. This is my version again of the powder bun. I hope y'all try it. It's really, really good. This could be used as just a dessert, or you could just have it for breakfast. Delicious with cheese, or just hot and buttered is perfect. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna add the raisins in now. These are the biggest raisins I've ever seen, but they're so good. All right, that's a cup of raisins. All right, there we go. You see that? About that time to get our hands dirty. So take this whisk out of the way. All right, we're gonna put these aside. Let's move these out of the way. All of these out of the way. All right, we're gonna need some space here. All right, so I already have it on the rubber mat. We might not need to put it on there, but just in case. And this is easy cleanup. So if you don't want to have flour all over your counters, this silicone mat is perfect when you're cooking because it helps a lot with cleanup, not making things too much, you know. All right, so this is a very thick coconut milk, so I'm going to add this coconut milk in. This is 1 cup of coconut milk. Again, as I said, if this is not enough, if it's too if it's too dry, we could add a little bit of water or more milk. But because this milk is so thick, I may not need to add water. I'm sorry. I might not need to add any more milk. Just a little bit of water to get it incorporated. So look at that. It's soft, and you want a soft dough. It's almost like cookie dough you're gonna have when you do this, you know. Here you go. All right, you see how that's coming together? We're gonna scrape the sides, get that all in there. We don't want to over knead this. This is one of those doughs that you don't want to get too worked up. It's not like you're making bread. When you're making bread, you want to knead it. You want to get that dough working. But with these shortbreads, you just want to incorporate the ingredients, have it set. So this is almost there. I might need a little more liquid. I'm looking at this. See, it's a little bit dry. I don't want it that dry. All right, so the same container that the coconut milk was in, I just add a little bit of water in there. I'm gonna add this to our mixture just to get it softened a little bit. We don't want this too sticky. We don't want it too dry. We want to be able to roll this out into little balls and bake them out. And I think this is done right here. All right, you know what? I'll put it out on the mat, on a silicone mat to show you how this looks. Okay, almost broke my rule and got my other hand messy, but yeah, here we go. All right. So this is it right here. Perfect. This is the texture you're looking for. See? You want to be able to roll it out like this. Take a look. It's not sticking to my hands. but it's nice and soft. All right. So this needs to be baked at 375 degrees for about 20 minutes. 20 to 25 minutes. It all depends on how your oven is. But we don't want to overbake these. We don't want them to dry out. So we're going to watch them. All right. If it needs to go a little longer, no problem. But we're shooting for 20 to 25 minutes at 375. And I'm looking forward to having some of this. All right, so I've rolled all of these out. So what I'm gonna do now is flatten it out a little bit. Press. And I want this about a 1/2 inch thick. I prefer them a little bit thicker because I like cutting them open and putting butter inside and some cheese. Drink it with some hot tea or coffee. I could taste this already. And it smells so good. All these spices are just coming out, and when it goes into the oven, this whole house is gonna smell so good. And I am looking forward to it. I know everyone is waiting to taste some of this Powda bun right now. Here we go, 1 dozen. All right, so these are all done. This is what we wanna see. It's soft and it's nice and golden brown on the bottom. All right, so let's taste these. See, they're thick enough so we can cut them and put a little butter. Since while they're so warm, they're very, very what's the word? Delicate. I don't know if you could cut them open, but I'm sure gonna try so that we could get some butter in the middle of this. Oh, this is so good. All right. Maybe you can cut them open, maybe you can't. But the point is, they're very delicate. I'm sure it's delicious. I could smell it. That's really good. And it's perfectly sweet. If you require less sugar, you don't want it too sweet, you could put like a 1/4 cup less sugar. But I think this is good for me. It seems like a lot when we were making it, but it balances out perfectly. So, thank you for cooking with me. Remember to like and subscribe to my page. Have an awesome day.